What is up, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you didn't know, I am Sue, also known as SUE GAINZ, and I am here to talk about New Year's resolutions today. I feel like New Year's resolutions get a really bad rap. People think that they always fail, they never work, and it's just that everyone starts, does it for a few months, and then quits, and they're not very realistic. And there are a ton of statistics to show that New Year's resolutions normally don't stick, and the main thing behind that, or the main thought process, is when you have to wait for a specific day to start your goal, it's not really a well-driven goal. So if I'm saying I have these habits I want to change and I've been wanting to change them for a really long time, me waiting until January 1st shows that I'm not ready to take initiative. If I really wanted to change, I could have changed right when I decided to. But there's a flip side to that. A new year becomes a new slate, and it's a really good time marker. So while I don't think you should wait for everything to start on January 1st, I do think that it can be a really great start date. And I myself started my fitness journey January 1st a few years ago, and I'll go ahead and pop up the pictures where I decided enough was enough for fitness and how I felt about my body. So that being said, today I'm going to talk about how to make a New Year's resolution and how to make it freaking stick. And there are 4 steps I'm going to take you along, and they pop into this infographic that was on my Instagram, but I'm going to explain each step a little bit more in depth and then talk about my goals for the new year. So the first thing is to make it SMART. S-M-A-R-T. Some of you guys might have heard of this in school. SMART goal setting is a great way to go about any kind of goal. So the S, specific. You need your goals to be specific and clear. To be able to make them that way, you're going to have to ask yourself a few questions to make sure that it does fit those guidelines. So I've written down on my phone what I want to tell you guys. That's what I'm doing. If it is not specific, you can't really focus in on it and know what you're talking about. Making very broad statements isn't gonna show that you've achieved your goal. So you have to ask yourself the 5 W questions, which are: what do I want to accomplish? Why is this goal important? Who is involved? Where is it located? And which resources or limits are involved? So you need to ask yourself the 5 W's to get to the S of a SMART goal without making it specific and just kind of throwing out a statement. So if I'm a fitness coach, if I were to say, I want to be the best fitness coach ever, that is not specific at all. I can't really measure that. It's none of the other parts of the SMART goal. So I would have to be more like, I want to gain the skills and the experience necessary to become better in like a certain regard. I can't just say the best, because that is not measurable by any sense, which brings us to the M. Your goal needs to be measurable. So you can't track your progress, and it's really hard to stay motivated if you don't have some sort of ruler to measure it against. Assessing your progress helps you stay focused, it helps you meet deadlines, and it helps you feel excitement as you get closer and closer to that goal. To make sure goals measurable, you have to ask yourself some more questions. How much, how many, and how will I know is accomplished? And that's the most important. How will I know I accomplished this goal? I can't just throw something out into the universe to make it measurable. That is so dang important with goal setting. Now on to the A, which is attainable or achievable. You have to be able to achieve the goal. I can't wish to be the Queen of England, because there's no way for me to achieve that goal to be the Queen of England. So it needs to be something that is within my reach. Whether it's very far from my reach or pretty close to my reach, I need to be able to achieve it. It should stretch your abilities, but should still be possible. So you'll have to ask yourself questions. How can I accomplish this goal? And is it realistic and within my reach to accomplish this goal? So let's say you want to become the head of whatever job you're doing. So let's say you're doing marketing somewhere and you want to become the head of marketing. You say, I want to do that within a year. Does your company allow people to do that within a year? Can you achieve those goals needed and those steps to take to get that in a year? Can you take the classes needed to accomplish that goal within the time frame you have laid out? And if you don't do that, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up to not accomplish your goals, and you are not creating a timeline to do it on. Achievable and attainable also needs to fall into the R of SMART, which is relevant or realistic. Making sure it's relevant or realistic. Relevant, make sure it's important to you. Does it make sense for you to have that goal, or are you just having that goal to have that goal? We do need assistance and we need support when doing things in our life, especially trying to achieve goals. You need to make sure it remains important to you and that the main driving force is it's because it's something you want to do or you need to do. Is this goal worthwhile? Is it the right time for me to be going for this goal? Does this match my efforts and needs for everything else in my life? Am I the right person to reach this goal? Is it possible for me to reach this goal? And does this goal match up with my life? Now that question can go either way. You might be able to make a million excuses for yourself why it's not the right time for you, or why you shouldn't, or why you're not the right person. But that is supposed to be a very, very objective question. When you look at your qualifications, when you look at your life, say you have 2 jobs, you have a family, and you have to take care of your sick grandmother. Is it realistic for you to take 7 courses on top of that to reach your goal, or to take those steps necessary to reach your goal? Now it may be if you're going to be hauling ass, but if it is not realistic for you to do, then it's not a goal that you should make for right now. Which, realistic within a time frame, leads us to the last thing, which is timely or time bound. And this is also so important. All of these 5 are important, obviously, or I wouldn't be talking about them. But every goal needs an end date, whether that be 2019, whether that be a month, whether that be a week, whether it be 5 days. It needs an end date. Deadline to work towards your goals, so you make sure your everyday tasks aren't over encompassing this goal that you have for yourself. You need to ask yourself, when will I complete this goal by? What can I do 6 months from now? What can I do 6 weeks from now? What can I do today to get to this goal? But the most important thing about all those questions is to set a deadline. Making sure your goal or resolution follows these 5 SMART guidelines. Make sure that you have focus, you have motivation, you have an end date. You can achieve the actual goals and you're not setting yourself up for failure. Another great thing about a SMART goal is it forces you to define the objectives of your goal. You can no longer throw out these statements that have no merit behind them, or goals that really are not thought through. Forcing you to write down and actually physically write down what those 5 things are, so that you have to follow criteria and you have to map out some of what you're about to do. Now moving on to the second thing in the infographic is a reverse bet. Now I first heard about this from my fiance Alex, and he pointed me towards Mike, who he had saw on a YouTube channel do this as well. And it reminded me of a study we looked at in one of my communication classes in college, and it is called a reverse bet. And basically what you have to do is, if you do not achieve your goal in the time period you have allotted with all of the restrictions you have put on it, you have to donate money to charity. Charity of your choice, whatever it may be, but you have to agree on a number right now. Say, if I do not reach these 3 goals that I have set out and I've mapped out by the end of next year, I have to donate $3,000 to charity, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it's gonna take to get you a little fire lit under you and get you a little scared. Now the study I was talking about basically says that people are more driven to do something when something of theirs is going to be taken away. So how often do you see weight loss things or any kind of promotion and it's like, if you win $10,000. And let's say you participate in it and you do pretty well, but at the end of the day, if you don't win, it's not the end of the world. You weren't counting on that income. You didn't already have that 10K in your bank account. You weren't expecting that $10,000. That was going to be a bonus. It was going to be awesome if you got it, but at the end, you didn't really lose anything because nothing was yours to begin with. Rather, and I think the example was with smoking cigarettes, if you say, if you do not accomplish this by this date, we'll take $10,000 from your bank account. I don't know about you, that scares the living daylights out of me. If someone is going to be taking money from me, I better work my tail off to make sure that doesn't happen, because I was expecting that money, I was relying on that money, and that money was mine. If I lose big. So set yourself up that if you lose big, but at the same time it's winning because it's forcing you to do the goal you've set out to. But let's say you fall short. We can't always accomplish our goals. If you do fall short, and be very honest with yourself, you're donating to charity, and what can be better than that? The third thing is to have accountability. Now, whether that be a coach, a friend, a spouse, a parent, a coworker, you need someone to hold you accountable. Being held accountable is the only way that you can't bail on this. Now, you can be very strong-willed and think, I can do this, I don't need to tell someone else my goals, but not only on the side that you need someone to probably check in on you, make sure you're doing okay, support you, and cheer you on. It also has been said that if you say your goals out loud, if you say your dreams out loud, and you say them and you keep saying them, you write them down, they are so much more likely to come true. Now, if you don't believe in the universe and all those things, that is a-okay. But if you don't say something out loud, it can just be a thought in your head, and you can either just forget about it, you can move on, you never have to say that out loud, you never have to be embarrassed that it didn't come true. But if you say it out loud, you speak it, you write it down, you tell someone, then you kind of have to take action. It's kind of how the human brain is wired. So have someone to hold you accountable, have someone check in on you, like, hey, how is that goal doing? Sometimes I even need someone just to check in on me, like, hey Sue, have you been doing what you set out to do? So it's really, really important to have someone hold you accountable, have an accountability partner, and whether it be someone who's doing the thing along with you or someone who you just have to tell about to make sure you get it done. And the last thing is to realize you are so capable. You do not have to be a victim in your life. You do not have to keep living the same year for 70 plus years. You can make a change, you can change a habit, you can stop biting your nails, you can lose weight, you can stop smoking cigarettes, you can walk more, you can eat healthier, you can do all these resolutions. You can get them done if you really want to, and you realize you're capable, and you follow the 3 other steps as well. And also just not thinking about it as a New Year's resolution. Think of it as a goal you have set out to do, and you will get it the frick done. Whatever it takes, you can do it. My goals are going to start and end for the new year. That is because I'm very self-sufficient in a lot of the other things I do in my life, but there are a few habits of myself that I would like to change, or a few things that I'd like to keep in mind going into this next year. And like I said, it's a really great timetable to think of it from January 1st to January 1st. And that is where the fiscal year is as well, and some of my goals are fiscal. So one of my things is I will not pick at my face. I don't know if anyone else has this issue, but I am a face picker. I try to pop my acne, I'm always touching my face, and I have acne scars and I really dislike them, and it's 0% helpful to pick at your face. So my thing is, I will not pick at my face this year. I have had 2 whiteheads the past 2 days and I have not popped them. Super proud of myself. Maybe TMI, but I'm staying strong. My next resolution or goal is that I will read 1 book every month for the next 12 months. Now this is an example of how I'm making a SMART goal. I originally said I'm going to read 3 books a month because I know that I am capable of reading that many books, but if I'm being realistic about how my work schedule goes and how everything else goes, really making sure I know I can read 1 book a month, that's pretty possible for me. But I haven't read a book in more months than I'd like to admit. And it's just me being lazy about it. So I will read at least 1 book every month of 2017. And another one that I am going to be working on, and I have not figured out the exact wording, but I am going to voice it into the universe for you guys. I have a few more that I still need to figure out the wording and figure out all the SMART goal to make sure it fits into all of those. But one is going to be about having a morning routine. A lot of times I wake up in the morning, I look at my phone, I check my email to see if any clients have messaged me, I check my Instagram, I check Twitter, and then I'm kind of lounging in bed and I have not started my day. I really want to stop doing that and stop being my phone the first thing I look at every morning. So I want to get into a morning routine of reading a devotional, writing my to-do list for the day in my planner, spending a little time with myself without my phone. So I still need to figure out how I want to word that, but that is the gist of it. And the next two are fiscal ones that I, again, need to put into my own wording, but they are going to be a monthly goal and a saving goal, as I am newly engaged and might be moving soon. And also I'm just starting a life, not how my life has been going. And in the future, possibly starting a family, I do want to become a better saver, and I do want to hit monthly goals for myself so that I am not just letting myself ride the wave. I actually want to challenge myself. So those are my goals. Go ahead and comment below what your New Year's resolutions are, or your goals. Let me know if this video helped you. Go ahead, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that jazz. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And if you need any help reaching your fitness goals in 2018, let this video be a smack in the face. Write down your SMART goals, get some accountability, make a reverse bet as yourself, and if you need some extra help, know that I am an online coach as well as an in-person personal trainer in the Columbus, Ohio area. So with that being said, let's crush 2018 and let's take our lives into our own hands and actually make this year's resolution stick. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.